Hey, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. For those of you who are on my Facebook page, I know that you've already seen me just a moment ago, right? Didn't offer you guys much as far as the midday trivia, though. Welcome to Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson, where we have the difficult conversations that sometimes, surround and highlight the elephants in the room, if you will. We have conversations on this platform around engaging topics that affect Black, Brown, melanated communities in America and abroad. And today I thought that I would offer you guys a bit of midday trivia. Okay. So, as you know, I am a psychotherapist. And because with this impromptu segment, I did not play my intro, of course, I feel like I got to do a little bit of a background for people who are really just tuning in or seeing me for the first time. So as you guys come in, go ahead and like and share the content so that more people can be impacted by what it is that we're going to discuss. And then more people can participate in the trivia, right? So, relationally speaking, I'm a psychotherapist professionally. And I think it's really interesting to be able to engage in these topics that make or increase more awareness for people who are outside of this field professionally and folks that are living that life that lead to the same issues that, typically lead to people becoming um, clients of people who provide therapeutic services, mental health and emotional and behavioral health challenges, if you will. So, midday trivia for today. Oftentimes, people say, as long as I don't know, I'm okay, right? Don't let me find out about you cheating. Don't let me find out that there is another person. Don't let me find out about this or that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You hear that quite frequently, especially in our community, because typically when people betray us, we feel a certain way, and it causes certain types of insecurities to be now expanded, even if those insecurities were not there, and now we've created seats for those insecurity. It causes difficulty. Hey, Lo, how are you? Good afternoon. I miss you. You need to call me. I feel like we're closer now in proximity to one another, but like we're so distant. But so, um, when we're thinking about relationships, right? Relationships can either be, and this is what I tell people all the time, especially when they're coming in for couples counseling, relationships can either be focused around being healthy or they can be focused around being happy. Those two things are oftentimes not combined when we think about outcomes of relationships, not from a clinically component, clinically sound component, but just relationally. So I want you guys to answer this question for you. Think, put your thinking caps on. What do you think the science of relationships, which is sociology of psychotherapy, has given us as marriage and family therapists, couple specialists, sex therapists, and things like that? What do you think the science has told us about what is the most important component when it comes to healthy relationships? And your two options are honesty and transparency. Separately, I want you to answer the second question. What do you think is the most important construct of happy relationships? Honesty or transparency? And to give you guys a very clearly delineated explanation of the difference between the two, because a lot of people think honesty and transparency are one and the same, and they're not. Honesty is when you're candid in your responses to someone else, being curious about things. Transparency, however, is when you're putting everything out there on the table. Nobody has to ask you any questions. It's truthful information, but you're basically allowing a person to see right through all situations that do and don't include them physically being present for the various experiences that you have in your life. So, really quickly, I'm not going to give you guys the answer, but I'm going to let the producer of the show give me his answer because he was just about to expand. And I thought, you know what, this would be a really good one to like include people on because you know, you never know what it is that you'd find out. So,
You just answered my question. I thought they kind of intersect each other, but they said they don't. So now that kind of got me stuck. So I'm thinking, if you're honest, it's gonna show your transparency. If you're transparent, it's gonna show your honesty. They kind of both don't be the same. They kind of go between each other. So it's a hard one to choose because both of them are not the same, but at the same time they have similar characteristics of what you're trying to actually get out of a person. So for me,
When you think about asking and getting information from a person,
yeah,
that would be a person giving you a candid response. In other words, being honest.
yeah,
So when you think about intersectionality, they do intersect when we're talking about transparency. Transparency includes candid answers or
yeah.
responses, but also a
You
very
can't be transparent and
abrupt.
lie. You can't be honest and be transparent. They cancel each other out.
Well, you can be honest and still not be transparent.
Yeah, that one talking about
They
that.
don't cancel one another out. They're just not. They're
Once
not.
they cancel that equation, now you're not even being transparent, honest, just saying something.
No, you can be honest and still not be transparent because transparency has nothing to do with being honest.
Not being forthcoming through the whole
Right.
situation. That was
Forthcoming equates to being
that
transparent,
was talking about
and
honesty
that
and being forthcoming.
includes honesty. But if you're being honest on the separate end of things, it doesn't have to include transparency because being forthcoming with information, it doesn't have anything to do with you being honest. So, for those of you who are just coming in, the question for you is, do you think healthier relationships are built upon the necessity for honesty or transparency? And separately, the second question is, do you think happier relationships are built on honesty or transparency? And the definition again is honesty means that you're candid in your responses to someone inquiring about things. And transparency means that you're forthcoming with information and you're just basically an open book and you share all insight about experiences that your partner may or may not be privy to, right? Because our partners can't be with us 100% of the day. You know, we have jobs, we have things that take us outside of their presence, and, you know, they may not be with us 24/7, right? But if we're transparent, we share things they had no idea even took place because it's just our way of just being us if we're a transparent person. However, it doesn't mean that we're not truthful with our partners if we're not transparent people. It just means that we're more reflective, right? And reactive. So I want you guys to figure out, and the answers are one and the
Yeah,
answers are
I
different.
think honesty will keep you happy and transparency will keep your relationship healthy. That's what I think. Yeah, for that. That's it.
Okay, so the producer's answer, okay, to the first question. And as you guys put the answer when you watch this, either live or on the replay, your answer to the first question needs to have a 1 and A if the answer is that the first question, of course, is, do you think healthier relationships thrive on honesty or transparency? So it would be 1A if you said healthier relationships thrive on honesty, right? It's 1B if you think healthier relationships thrive on transparency, right? And if you're answering the second question, it'll be 2A if you feel like healthier relationships thrive on honesty, and 2B for healthier relationships thrive on transparency. Happier. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So it's 1A for healthier, honesty. 1B for healthier, transparency. And it's 2A, happier, honesty. 2B, happier, transparency. Okay, those are your answer responses that you can type into the chat once you guys review this. So the producer says healthier relationships thrive on.
Being honesty make you happy.
Okay,
Transparency keep you healthy.
so healthier relationships thrive on
Yeah,
transparency. His answer for happier relationships, you said
honesty.
honesty. I cannot wait to give you guys the answer. So, we're going to talk about what the science tells us, and I am going to check back in on all of the responses on the various platforms later on today. I look forward to finding out what you guys think. Okay. Just remember, we're talking about healthier relationships first. So your answer choices are healthier relationships thrive on honesty, would be 1A for your answer. Healthier relationships thrive on transparency, would be 1B for your answer. And for your answer for the second half of the trivia, happier relationships thrive on honesty, 2A. And transparency for happier relationship is going to be 2B. So those are your answer choices. Okay. And I told you guys what he thinks, and he's a layperson just like you guys, not a relationship expert, not a psychotherapist or whatever. I'm going to share the answer with you guys later on. And for those of you who got the answer correct, it's going to be a surprise, surprise, surprise. So let's have this discussion. I want you guys to continue to share this trivia question out there, and try to be honest in your answering this question. Don't try and go to your psychotherapy friends who specialize in couples and stuff like that to try and get the answer. Okay.
Go to ig.com.
Hey, you won't get the answer from Google. I'm just going to be honest, because Google is not a reliable source of information, contrary to popular belief. Because even though some of the information is quite accurate that we find on Google, right, it's just not up to date with the more up to date science and stuff like that. You have to pay for that, right?
That's just what I think. I mean, I don't know the answer, but that's just what
I like to hear the answers from lay people, though. I like to hear people weigh in what they think.
That would work for me.
Yeah. Okay.
It may be a right answer to it, but that's the right answer that comes to me. He explain the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
I may make it reconsider that or whatever. But right now, that keeps me.
And there are a lot of people who are in relationships, right? And we're talking about relationships in general, you guys. So, it's not just about intimate partner relationships. This is about relationships in general. So if you guys really think about it, because this is going to give you the answer when you really start thinking about what it is that your relationships at work look like, right? When you think about boss relationships to supervisees, if you think about, what your professional relationships with your colleagues look like. So think about how you would feel, what will make you happier versus healthier, and what are some of the possibilities, right? When people are being honest or transparent, because we've talked about what the difference is for the two of them.
Myself, for example, if I can't be honest, I cannot truly be happy. If I cannot be transparent, I truly cannot. I'm not healthy. So that's how.
So you don't see your happiness as a conduit to your healthy state of mind being
honest with yourself to be happy. That was that all. You have nothing to hold you back from being happy because you've been honest and you've been honest and you're happy. When you've been transparent, you're already happy for being honest. So you're transparent. It makes it healthy because honesty it's already in place.
Transparency can sometimes cause you to be quite uncomfortable, though. Not necessarily happy.
I'm saying to keep you healthy because you have a bigger scope of what's going on in real time, past, future, and present. You going forward. That means that you start out with honesty, now you're being transparent. That'll keep it healthy. You want to be hit with no blind sides or not knowing. You want to keep going through the honesty part. Honesty already has been set in place. So transparent, escalate off of that and evolve and carry on.
I'm not going to tell you guys the answer. But I think it's interesting that he has that take on it. All right. So I'll see you guys back here later. Tune in at what time? 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that you can get the answer. I can't wait. I feel like this is going to be a really interesting discussion. Yeah, I do. So thank you guys for sitting out this time with me today. And I know it's kind of like impromptu, those impromptu shows. I don't expect a whole bunch of people to catch me live, but I'm going to leave this here. And you know what? Let's bump it back. Let's say 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I won't have to interrupt my meeting of the evening. But so let's do that. And it'll give you guys more time to share out the content, continue to post your thoughts, reflections. And also, if you have any questions, right? If you have any questions, post them here. I'll get the alerts and I can respond appropriately on the different platforms that this is airing on right now. Make sure you're sharing this so that we can have a collaborative discussion, because you never know. Somebody might benefit from this discussion in the grand scheme of things. A lot of people wonder why it is that their relationships are troubled, you know? And sometimes you can find out the answers for free instead of signing up for psychotherapy, or consultation meetings and things like that, where it costs you a lot of money. So let's talk. Later days. Bye.